Well, almost 50,000 black-owned tavern and shebeen owners are demanding a once-off payment of 20,000 rand compensation for loss of income due to the two separate bans on the sale of alcohol. This is contained in a letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa following his decision on Sunday to ban the sale of alcohol for a second time. Now, to further discuss this, we are joined via Skype by the National Liquor Traders Council convener, Lucky Ntimane. Thank you very much for coming through, Lucky. The country has a problem here. To save the lives of the people, and alcohol seems to be adding fuel to the fire, and all what you want is 20,000 rands.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers. I mean, the headlines that Jackson Tembu made yesterday with regards to that linkage around alcohol and also the hospital beds. And, you know, he is right that the issue is not the tavern owners or the shebeen permit holders, but we're being punished, you know, for a fact that he admits that the government knows something about, but they've chosen to do nothing in the past 24 years. And that is very worrying for him to make such an admission, because they continue to make decisions, you know, that punishes liquor traders, you know, on issues that they know that have nothing to do really with us. And we are really concerned about that. So the issue of 20,000, I think it's not a driver of why we wrote to the president. That is but one of the issues that we've highlighted in the letter that we sent to the president. Essentially, the big thing that we're looking for is to discuss conditions under which we can return to trading. Because as it is now, I mean, we've been closed without any indication of when we're going to start operating again, which is really unacceptable on the part of the president and his entire government.
So in the meantime, what do you say about the aftermath of consumption of alcohol? If people, like he was talking about, not knowing why do people want to be involved in serious fights, wanting to kill the ones that they love after drinking. So the issue of alcohol is really a problem, and admittedly so, you have seen how it is really overwhelming the health system regarding the availability of beds when there are COVID-19 patients that have to be admitted. We rather see people who have been injured in either car accidents or who have been seriously injured.
We do not buy to that narrative that alcohol is actually causing that hospital beds now should suffer as a result of that. We have been asking government for the past 2 months for statistics that will help us to come up with strategies that will inform specific areas that need intervention. We have reached out to government to no avail. So for them to come up with an excuse that, you know, there's some data that seems to suggest that, you know, alcohol is a main link to hospital beds being, you know, overwhelmed, it's really unfair. If really this was the case, government will not have a problem sharing with us the statistics or even sharing that data with the public, you know, for peer review. But they seem to be holding this information to themselves for some ulterior motives.
So you're saying that you haven't heard that in the past few weeks, the hospital's emergency units were overwhelmed by people who were injured during incidents of drunken behavior. You haven't heard that?
I think we need to be very careful in how we address, you know, insinuations. For us to really engage in honesty in this matter is that let the government share the stats, because we actually were the ones that were proactive in requesting for these statistics. And the reason why we wanted to do that, wanted to identify areas of concern with government so that we can come up with targeted interventions in those specific areas that government felt that, you know, there was an issue with hospital beds. And up to today, we are yet to see those numbers.
But Lucky, how are these numbers going to help when, based on prima facie, you can see how actually people have been behaving? And this has been shocking in terms of why do people want to fight after they have had a drink or two?
I would like to caution that, you know, we're dealing with an issue of livelihoods here. For livelihoods to be put on hold based on a prima facie evidence is really unacceptable. And we like to caution this government, you know, that seems to be displaying, you know, uncaring attitudes and total disdain for small businesses to really think twice about what they're doing to us as small businesses, because they are really condemning us to, you know, economic ruin that will take years to recover from. You know, I think what frustrates us is that we have been the ones reaching out to government to say, let's have a chat, let's have a conversation around what is it that we can do together as social partners in a fight against COVID-19? As you might have seen, our traders actually prepared themselves for the 1st June opening by investing their own money in ensuring that they've got sanitizers, masks. They prepare their places to comply with the 1.5 meter social distancing. So we have done that because we wanted to partner with government. We didn't want to be a problem in this issue, but we wanted to be a solution. And we wanted to make sure that, as we preserve the lives of our people, we also preserve their livelihoods. But the government chose only to focus on the issue of health, which we respect, but they used the wrong method. And they used the wrong numbers to advance that narrative, which doesn't hold water, with due respect.
So what am I getting from you is that we are selling alcohol, people must buy and drink. What happens after that, they can beat each other up, they can kill each other. That's not our responsibility.
You are in dangerous territory now by linking each and every death that happens in a country to alcohol. I think you'll be well aware that that's a narrow-minded view, which we'll caution against. Government needs to come with solutions. I think we need to clarify here who's the government, who's liquor traders. We are responsible for selling, and we make sure that we do that in accordance with the liquor license regulations. And as it were, we ensure that our patrons are able to consume liquor responsibly because we rely on them to sustain our livelihoods. So we could never be in a situation where we encourage irresponsible drinking because it means we will not be able to trade. Who are we going to service if our people are dying as a result of our inaction? So take exception that I stated that each and every death that happens in the country should be linked to alcohol. It's not fair.
All right, Mr. Ntimane, let's hope we'll hear from the president and then we'll engage in terms of how he'll respond to your letter. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us.